Good evening, wrestling fans. We're your hosts, Lewis
and Jaden, and this is
Evolution of Pro Wrestling. Welcome back, fans. Sorry for the little late response. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. We're about to do an excellent topic called the greatest heels of all time. Greatest heels of all time. And in this particular show, we're going to be talking about the 80s, 90s, the new millennium, and it's just going to be an awesome card. Today, we're going to have on our show, our pleasure to have on our show, two of the top heels in the indie promotion, the Brothers in Arms from the Atomic Revolutionary Wrestling. We're about to tune them in and add them into the video. Okay. See if they send in the invite. Okay, Jason Dugan. And Ray Zion. Laura Brown. Okay. I'm sorry, fans, having a little technical difficulties adding them in. We had this before.
TV time. More TV time.
Okay, we got one. That Mr. Dugan?
Yeah, if you're looking for Ray, well, he's somewhere around. Oh, there he is.
Oop. He's looking for the feed. I think he just got on now. All right, we're having a little issue adding him on. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a video chat.
Whatever you want to do. Ray, where are you?
Okay, I got him. I'll put him on over here, video chat.
Okay.
All right, we got the Brothers in Arms. Welcome to the show, gentlemen. I apologize for the technical difficulties. It's a little nerve-wracking.
But it's Facebook. I'm not surprised.
Is that Ray?
Welcome to the show, gentlemen. Yep, that's Ray.
Yo, Jay.
Here we go.
Hey, I can see you.
Oh, here we go. Let's do it.
Man, it's like some scary movie stuff.
Yes, sir. Everything clear. Everything clear. All right,
Hey,
gentlemen.
Ray, watch this.
We're glad to have you on the show. We're glad to have you, gentlemen, on the show. And as you know, our topic is the greatest heels of all time. You, gentlemen.
Yeah.
What we talking? We talking singles, tag.
Oh, we talk about all types of heels. We talk about tag teams, singles, managers, you name it. And we saw that you guys are two of the top heels out there because you guys gave hell to Atomic Revolutionary Wrestling for quite a while, and then you guys definitely surprised everybody with that heel turn with Alex Ray.
Well,
Yeah, we appreciate
correction.
No, that was a surprising one. It caught us by surprise, and my wife, who just became a wrestling fan, she was shocked herself. You know.
She done came back in. When she done came back into the fold.
Yep. No, that's a turn that is going to be remembered for quite a while. I'll tell you that much. So, and I know this must have took careful planning.
Oh, Actually, to be honest with you, actually, I didn't know until it happened. I was on the ground, and and Jesse was over me, and I heard Alex do your job, and then I just, 1-2, and then I looked to Red was just, I don't know, man. I was shocked. I mean, Red's never really much had a liking for Brothers in Arms, but we have an interest now.
No, that's a big alliance you guys have now, and it's going to be interesting to see that alliance and how it's going to unfold. Now, when we talk about heels, like what brings out the heel in you guys? Like, is it the fans? Is it just,
Seriously though, what brings out the heel in us is honestly, people just don't like us for whatever reason it is. Whether we got the swag, whether we got the money, whether we got the women, I honestly don't even know. People just genuinely don't like us. It isn't like we try to get hated, but since you hate us, might as well hate you back.
Well, that's one way to look at it. You know what I mean? Man, the more people you piss off, the more you're doing your job.
Man, more people I piss off, the more I get paid. So
that's I ain't mad at that logic. You know what I mean?
Hey, if anything, you should be asking Jerry Swirls. He's actually on right now, and we took him underneath our wing, and he turned on us.
Wow.
For whatever his reasons were.
For no reason.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
ungrateful. Ungrateful.
Well, I saw.
Ungrateful and selfish.
Well, I saw after the match that you did a number on Jerry after that match. So.
Oh yeah, he tried to touch Alex for no reason. Alex was minding his own business, just standing there, and all of a sudden, Cherry Swirls tried to rob him, and I saved Alex just like he saved me in that match.
Oh man. Well, you guys got the job done. You know what I mean, and it's gonna be interesting to see this new alliance in the time to come. You know what I mean, and I know great things are gonna come out of this.
Hey, don't forget, we added Janelle, we added JD, trust me, big things coming.
Oh yeah, no, I saw that in the end too. This guy came out, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, is he friend or foe? And he just completely went right after Jesse Neal and his entourage. I'm like, whoa! I said, this is a pretty big faction alliance growing that is gonna take Atomic by storm. So
at the end of the day, we already took Atomic by storm.
Oh,
at this point, for all of
we've been doing that way too long.
We taking
No,
over.
that's good, man. I'm looking forward to it. Especially, I know you guys are coming back to Coco in June, and I can't even imagine what's gonna happen with that. You know what I mean? I remember, you guys were recently at USA Pro Wrestling. We did see Jesse.
Our debut, and we won.
Yeah, we saw that.
We won.
Hey, say what you want. What happened with Jesse? We got the victory over there.
No, I saw that,
Yeah.
and I definitely saw that. But don't you think Jesse Neal is out for blood now since Alex turned on him?
Let me tell you about Jesse. Jesse is a thug. They call us thugs. Jesse's a thug. He talks about being this American hero, and really he's a thug. It took him and 4 other guys to beat me up. 150 pounds, and you took 5 guys to beat me up.
5 guys.
It's true.
Well, it's oh man.
After a match. After I had that long match with Ray and Jesse Neal, the thug that he is.
And then you got a tag, of course. No, that's what I'm saying. It seems to me like it's kind of a personal war now that it's pretty much like
here's a true story. I've been dealing with Jesse since the beginning. Actually, I've been dealing with Jesse since I first started wrestling. Jesse was actually one of my first matches. He took advantage of a poor little black guy. So Jesse's a thug, man.
Listen, I'm looking for you guys to do more damage in Atomic. You know what I mean? I know my son had a good time when we saw that heel change. And for you guys to be a heel, what do you see the difference now of being a heel compared to the '80s back then and the era before?
First of all,
Heel is like,
they got the internet, so therefore they can't get as famous as quickly as we can.
Okay.
Got all these other decades to get up there. Decades. What we doing this for a little bit. We just getting started. Trust me, y'all in trouble. Y'all in trouble. Brothers in arms coming for you.
No, I'm not mad at you, man. It's like we kind of see you guys as somewhat of maybe a Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns type heel. You know what I mean? But do you guys think
What?
you're better?
Seth
what?
Rollins got more talent than them. When the last time you seen Seth Rollins bust out that sunset bomb?
Oh man.
When the last time you seen Roman Reigns do a backflip? Yeah, right.
Seth Rollins has done plenty of backflips. Plenty
When the
of
last time you
backflips.
seen Roman Reigns do a backflip? Huh?
That's not what he's about. Roman Reigns is the big dog, the master of
Wow,
spears.
be big and I can punch people and I'm not the biggest. What's funny enough? I'm almost as big as Roman Reigns. Let's think about that.
Well, that's true. No, that's definitely true. Now, you know
That's
what?
true.
My foot is a whole lot better than my fist. My foot is a whole lot better than my fist.
No, but that's an interesting fact that you put that out there. Because I was talking to my son, and I kind of figured Alex Red now as a heel and kind of a manager, promoter. I think he's kind of up there like a Bobby Heenan or a Vince McMahon, maybe a Paul Heyman guy that is got this evil genius type attitude to just take over professional wrestling. You know what I mean? Especially with you guys by his side, who knows what's gonna happen?
I can say this much. Alex Red is a genius. He's smart. I've watched Alex work the promotion from down under and make it into something big. And I'll personally tell you, I personally didn't like Alex for a very long time, because he was always trying to hold us back, or we weren't the guys that were on TV, and Jesse Neal was that guy, and the Shannon Moores. Then he was bringing in these bunch of ECW legends, and so we had to actually work our way up, and we've accomplished more as a team and separate as a team than the Jessies or the Shannons or anyone else has been there, or even Adam Rose. And I've held a cruiserweight championship, a single title, like for over 230 something days now.
Yeah,
I've been cruiserweight champion.
Yeah, I definitely see that, and that's a big accomplishment for holding a title that long. So that means you must be doing something. Heel or night, fans don't gotta like you, but they gotta respect you for the fact that you're still the champion for over 200 some odd days. And
Don't forget that. He might be one of the longest cruiserweight champions, but we also one of the longest reigning tag teams of all Atomic Wrestling time.
No, and that's a great accomplishment. That's why I say, with you two guys as the longest reigning tag team in Atomic, and adding Alex Red to the mix, it's gonna be interesting. A lot of people want to see where this is gonna go, and I just want to see it. I don't care where it is, and like it's gonna be an interesting time to witness that. You know what I mean?
Hey, trust me. At the end of the day,
Hey, all I
road, it all goes to Mo Green and Mo Gold.
That's right. I like that phrase. That's interesting. You know what I mean? If you guys had a chance,
I honestly don't care about the money.
Oh no, sometimes people don't even do it for the money. Sometimes they just do it just for the passion and just I want to piss off the fans as much as I can. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I'll tell you right now.
It's all about championships and checks.
That's interesting.
I'll tell you right now. My goal right now and has been is to prove a point. And I feel like I've been doing that since day one. And now that Alex Red, and I'll tell you, he has his own agenda of why he did what he did. And I honestly don't know what his agenda is. But what I see is opportunity. What I see is to do something more special at Atomic that we have already done. So it's opportunities. His opportunities to see guys like Jesse Neal get taken off their pedestal. Guys like that just being handed stuff. And I'll tell you right now, I'll say it right now. I don't care if Jesse's listening. He is handed the main event. He is handed the championship. He's handed. But you know what? Without Alex Red by his side, that ain't happening anymore. So he's gonna actually have to work now.
No, that then. Well, it's gonna be a big rivalry between you two guys, and as I said, when you guys look at the past of certain heels, you know what I mean, like WWE, WCW, ECW, where do you guys place yourself in that category?
Oh, trust me, eventually once we get there, we're gonna be better than all of them. But right now it's all a stepping stone. We gotta beat every team that ever existed that still exists to this day. So we're just gonna keep climbing that ladder until eventually we just check every one of them off of the dang list.
No, I completely understand. When you guys had that match of USA Pro Wrestling, you guys came up with the victory, which not too many people thought. Exactly.
One day, street gone.
And you guys did beat Adam Cole and Jesse Neal, but I'm not sure. I think Jesse is definitely coming gunning for you guys, man.
Listen. We actually, that's funny. We're wrestling Jesse. Next week, we're actually wrestling Jesse.
Wow.
You know that, Ray, right? Next week.
Yeah.
So yeah. And Jesse.
Man.
So we've been fighting Jesse not only at Atomic, but we've been fighting him in other promotions. I mean, I've had single matches with Jesse, tag matches with Jesse. I've had all types of matches with Jesse. I haven't even had a bull rope match with him, but that probably will come up soon. We've fought in Jesse everywhere.
Well, to be honest with you guys, it wouldn't be bad to see you guys in a definite hardcore match, as a tag team,
Well, we've already done that.
No, sir. I'm talking about. I want to see an all-out brawl. You guys.
Have you not seen us beat the crap out of Awaken?
No, sir.
Yeah. Or Fulton or Vertigo. Listen, we literally created the prison yard match.
Oh man.
We've had 2 prison yard matches as a tag team, and I've had 1 prison yard match as a singles wrestler defending my cruiserweight title against a former member that used to be in Brothers in Arms. But no one remembers him, actually.
Prison yard match means plain and simple. Anything goes. I don't care what you pull out of your behind, but trust me, at the end of the day, you ain't gonna beat us in no prison yard match.
Oh man, that's a creative match, man.
Sounds very
well,
Yeah.
Gentlemen.
See my boy Cadrian. No, that's Cadrian. He ain't a wrestler, but Cadrian, he could be a wrestler, man.
Well,
woke up, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show. We're going to continue talking about the greatest heels of all time. It was a pleasure having you here. And
appreciate it.
We're definitely going to be seeing you in the next show come June in Atomic. And we're looking forward to seeing more of this new alliance between you and Mr. Alex Red.
Yeah, y'all come through and watch us do some chaos.
Yes, sir. Of course. Take care, gentlemen.
You too.
Okay, guys, that was our show right there with the Brothers in Arms. Now we're going to continue with our topic as the greatest heels of all time. So we were mentioning the Brothers in Arms. They said that they're better than the Caliber. Also a heel at a point when he joined the Authority and turned on the Shield. Now, there's many thoughts of who is the greatest heel of all time. You got guys like Superstar Billy Graham and Ted DiBiase, Killer Kowalski, you know what I mean? But in my personal opinion, my favorite heel of all time is Ric Flair.
Dirtiest player in the game.
Dirtiest player in the game. Why? Because that's who he is. Ric Flair did every single dirty trick in the book that, to this day, even at 70 years old, not to mention his age, sorry, Rick, he can still do it. You know? Who do you think is your favorite heel of all time, Jaden?
Well, I wouldn't say he's my favorite heel of all time.
And
but
one of the greatest.
One of the greatest heels of all time is Batista.
And why is that?
Batista is one of the greatest heels of all time because Batista is infamous for sending out threats to most likely threats to his old partners, his old friends. Like, take Raw SmackDown, for example. He sent a threat to Triple H by beating up Ric Flair on his birthday.
Not to correct you, but that was actually on Monday Night Raw.
Raw, I'm sorry.
That was on Monday Night Raw. Towards the end of Monday Night Raw, they were celebrating Ric Flair's birthday. And he ended up destroying Ric Flair and telling Triple H, "Do I have your attention now?" Which was shocking because nobody would thought he was coming into the show. So imagine that. And Triple H himself was at a point a heel. He pretty much joined Evolution. He was in DX. He was in the Corporation. He was a big heel. You know, he pretty much took over the industry after that.
Now we have another great heel that was a part of Evolution as well. Randy Orton.
Of course.
Randy Orton was the Viper. He's to this day the Viper. And before, the Legend Killer, you know, he was very sneaky about things. He was something like Ric Flair, except there's no one that can outplay Ric Flair.
Ric Flair is without a shadow of a doubt, you know, the dirtiest player in the game, you know, but there are other heels. You know, I've seen heels that actually are more famous than others today from the past. And one in particular, which unfortunately we lost him a few days ago, King Kong Bundy. God rest his soul, he passed away a few days ago. He was an awesome heel. Like, he bone rushed through the WWE roster in the 80s and early 90s. You know, this man used to do that big splash and then have referees count to number 5 and to show that his opponents weren't going to get up. You know, and that's what caused it even more. That's what made it even better for him to be a heel.
Now, a heel that surprised me a lot was the general manager, Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is that type of manager that brings, even once you start, if you could start off as a face, Paul Heyman is the guy that brings the heel out of you, that brings that personality out of you, that brings the madness out of you. Like, take CM Punk, for example. CM Punk was champ. Paul Heyman got into the picture, and CM Punk became a very, very great heel.
Excuse me, fans. I'm sorry. Just fixing some stuff here. Here, back live. Okay, so yes, CM Punk was a great heel, and CM Punk was excellent on the mic. Like, he dropped some heavy pipe bombs that it was just, oh man.
Now,
crazy.
his mic skills were mostly threats to other superheroes because he used the phrase, superstars, because he used the phrase, "I'm the best in the world."
Of course. And when he was in WWE, he did prove that fact that
absolutely
he was the best in the world. You know what I mean? And when you got guys like CM Punk, you can compare guys from the past and the future, but I don't think CM Punk is a better heel than Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold was Stone Cold. He was stunning Steve Austin in WCW. Then he became Stone Cold Steve Austin and just did total chaos in WWE. He pretty much took out Gorilla Monsoon. He took out Sergeant Slaughter. He took out Vince McMahon when he first stunned Vince McMahon. You know what I mean? And when you got Stone Cold and CM Punk, a lot of people wanted to see that match, but it never happened.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So I think today's era compared to the past era, I don't think you
Well,
can really compare.
I can agree with that, but I can also disagree with that because some superstars in this era some heel superstars in this era are actually pretty good. Let's take Seth Rollins for example. Seth Rollins was a heel when he was a part of the Authority, but look how he transcended. Look at the titles he won. Look at Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns during the Shield was a very quiet person.
But Roman Reigns was a heel at the Shield. He wasn't really a heel as a singles competition person.
I mean, but you could still give him credit, though.
Of course I could give him credit. He was the powerhouse in the Shield. Yes, okay, that's fine. He was in the Shield. He was a heel at the time, and so was Dean Ambrose. But Seth Rollins actually turned out to be an actual heel when he disbanded the Shield.
Absolutely.
But I don't think you could compare Seth Rollins to a guy like Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect was a heel, always part of the Heenan family. You had the Heenan family himself, Bobby Heenan. You had Bobby Heenan in the family. You had Mr. Perfect, King Kong Bundy, Andre the Giant, Big John Studd. The list goes on and on from the Heenan family.
I have a question for you. What made Mr. Perfect such a great heel?
Because he was perfect. He was perfect at getting the fans to go against him. He did everything perfect. He was never bad. His in-ring talent was perfect. His heel turn was perfect. He pretty much took over when he came to WWE. Former Intercontinental Champion. You know. And then you got Big John Studd, who at the time, before Andre the Giant turned heel, had a fierce battle with Andre the Giant. Then Andre the Giant turned on Hulk Hogan. You know, but in this day and age, in this new era, you got heels like Samoa Joe, Bray Wyatt.
You have another great one. You have Shinsuke Nakamura.
Shinsuke Nakamura that just turned heel at WrestleMania last year and has been an excellent heel ever since.
Absolutely.
You know, that character was brought out of him and he just said, you know what? I don't care what the fans think. And speaking of what the fans think, Ronda Rousey. She just turned heel and she just did a super promo shoot is having fans talking because she just said, the heck with the WWE Universe. I don't care. I'm going to do what I want. And she's on a tear up right now.
That was very surprising.
No, of course it was surprising.
That was very surprising.
You know, and it's tough because when you compare her, you know, you could compare her to somebody maybe like Fabulous Moolah, who was an awesome heel as a female in the wrestling industry in the past. You know, but I don't know.
Now we can get into more great heels like the Dudley Boys.
Okay.
The Dudley Boys, what made them great heels was that they did not care who you were, how old you were, how young they were. The Dudley Boys would beat you until you can't stand anymore. Especially when
they put you through tables.
Yeah, exactly. They put you through tables. So that's what makes them like very, very petrifying. That's what makes them insane. Putting people through tables.
Well, if you had a choice, would you pick the Brothers in Arms or the Dudley Boys? Because the Brothers in Arms are excellent heel.
See,
you know what I mean? Those guys are like.
I would like those two to go at it. That would be a nail biter.
I think the Brothers in Arms could probably take them on now. You know what I mean?
I mean, but look at the Dudley Boys. The Dudley Boys would put them through tables instantly.
Yeah, but come on, you see how tall Ray Zion is.
He is very tall.
The man is powerful. As you said, he's bigger than Roman Reigns. And Jason Dugan is over 200 time. I'm sorry. Cruiserweight champion for over 200 days. He must be doing something right because the man he's actually doing what he has to do.
Getting the job done.
But in this wrestling industry, there's many heels that we can always talk about. You got Iron Sheik. Iron Sheik was an awesome heel that he just took over the wrestling industry and beat Bob Backlund to win the World Heavyweight title. You know, he lost it a month after to Hulk Hogan, which Hulk Hogan also was an awesome heel when he became Hollywood Hulk Hogan for the NWO.
Which was a big change for Hulk Hogan.
Of course it was a big change for Hulk Hogan because everybody saw the yellow and the red and ripping my shirt and the prayers and the vitamins
then
and all that stuff.
Then he turned into the black and white.
Yeah, and he he made the NWO into something major.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna either cheer for the man, you're gonna boo him. He's still gonna be the heel. He's still gonna put butts in the seats, and that's what makes the heel. When you bring out that character in a heel, and Hulk Hogan brought that character out of him. He said, "You know what? I want to try something new. I want to try to be a bad guy, and I just want to piss off the fans and take over." Just like Vince McMahon.
Oh yeah.
Vince McMahon, to me, was possibly the greatest heel of all time. This man pissed off everybody, especially Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know, he took over completely. That it was just like, I don't care. I'm the boss. I got the brass. You know what? And you're gonna do what I say.
Now I can give him credits, but there's a heel that is. Now we can go back to the heel that you name, Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is a scary heel. Like we can go back to when Dean Ambrose was in a Hell in a Cell match. He surprised Dean Ambrose out of nowhere during his match. Now, you see most heels doing that, but he does it in like creative ways. Like he can come out of the ring, he can come from the barricades, he can come through the ring. He'll just find a way to scare his opponent.
Well, with him and the Wyatt family, they actually came in with full force when they first entered the WWE, and a lot of people feared them as heels in this industry. You know, and we also have other heels that are actually in the indie promotions. You got Danny Moff and Sean Donovan, which I personally would like to see that match at either Atomic or USA Pro Wrestling. Sean Donovan and Danny Moff against the Brothers in Arms.
That
would be a very good match. I would love to see that match. I would pay to see that. You know, but as I said, Jaden, you know, I'm old school, you're new school. I always like the old school heels. You know, you got Sergeant Slaughter, Ted DiBiase, Randy Savage. You know what I mean? You have Nikolai Volkov. And the list goes on and on when it comes to old school heels. But I had mentioned the indie promotion too. You also got famous heels in New York City, the Deadly Saying Squad, which we will be interviewing Monday night at 6 p.m. You know, those guys, I've heard they've been doing a tear up in New York, in the region, that their quote is change through violence. That's a big quote, you know what I mean? And it's not easy to make that impact on a wrestling organization, you know. And when people say, oh, can you compare certain people? I think I can compare that faction, those heels, to the Shield when they were heel.
Well, I can compare a lot of great wrestlers to this one wrestler. Well, yeah, Edge. You know, Edge started off as a heel that won the first ever Money in the Bank match. And when we had the Elimination Chamber match, he cashed in his Money in the Bank on John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
And Edge was most infamous for cashing in Money in the Banks because he has won a lot of Money in the Bank matches. So that's what makes him a really, really phenomenal heel. What do you think, Dad?
Well, they don't call him the rated R superstar for nothing.
Yeah.
You know, he did the Conchero one time to The Undertaker and to Ric Flair. He cashed in the Money in the Bank on The Undertaker one time. You know, and at one point at an ECW event, he speared John Cena through a table and nobody knew who he was until he actually did it and cost John Cena the match. You know, this man has fought with the best and has pissed off a lot of people when he was in the wrestling industry. You know, yeah, he's a Hall of Famer now, but he was definitely a big impact when it came to being a heel. But when you got a type of heel like that, I think you can't compare him to one of the greatest heels that I know, that he was hated all the time, Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper was a hated man in wrestling back then when he was a heel. Him and Hulk Hogan hated each other when they were in the ring. And he just pissed everybody off. You know what I mean? And it's just there's a whole bunch of heels out there, Jaden, that old school because you're new school, so you don't really know too much about it. You know, Terry Funk, Abdullah the Butcher, um, Jerry Lawler, Rick Rude, Mr. Fuji, Superstar Billy Graham. You know, your new era. You know, you like The Miz and
Well, I don't. The Miz is a talented superstar, a talented heel now. The Miz.
he's always been a talented heel. He's always had a way to get
He's
to get under the
always had
skin
a
of the
yeah.
fans.
He's always he if he can't do it by by doing movements, he has really intense words to put out to the fans that gets under the fans' skin so much that some of the fans probably hate him in person. But Miz is a very good heel.
Of course. So that brings us to Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho's another one that you used to get under people's skin all the time.
Yeah.
When he used to be a heel, the fans hated him. And he used to tell them, oh, shut your mouth or I'm not talking anymore. You know, and it was, you know, a lot of people took it personal. You know what I mean? Like, you know, this guy's a jerk. But he was a good heel. You know, and not too many people understood that. And they're like, oh, this guy's a jerk. No, but he's coming out with the character. He's coming out being himself. You know, and some heels actually win over the fans. Some don't. Some actually are hated by the fans that the fans pretty much can't stand them. You know what I mean? And that's what the issue was when, at a point, Eddie Guerrero was a heel, and not too many people were happy about that because he betrayed Rey Mysterio, and a lot of fans wanted to see Eddie as a face, but he said, no, I'm going to do what I got to do and just take over.
Well, Dad, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What did you like Eddie Guerrero as?
I can honestly say Eddie Guerrero played better as a heel. You know,
I agree.
Latino heat, and, you know, God rest his soul, he was an excellent athlete in the ring.
Definitely.
And he pretty much took the wrestling industry by storm with his Latino heat gimmick and Alaya Cheetah Steel. He didn't care. He stole everything. He did what he had to do. And, you know, he is sorely missed, and we wish we could have still had him here because he would, with this talent that's in the new era now, I think he could have still been able to keep up with the best. You know what I mean? But it's like when you compare new school and old school, excuse me, do you think you could compare a Seth Rollins and a Ric Flair?
Ooh, that's kind of tough. Like when they were both heels, they were both like very talented. So that's a nail biter. That I cannot decide on. What do you think?
I think you can never compare Seth Rollins to Ric Flair. I'm sorry. Ric Flair, bar none, is the best.
I mean, Ric Flair is the dirtiest player in the game. Seth Rollins...
He's the kid stealing...
He's the kid stealing...
limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun. He still is. And there ain't nobody touching him. Not even the great Hulk Hogan. And I'm a awesome Hulk Hogan fan. But as far as heel's concerned, Ric Flair is the dirtiest player in the game. By far. I think the only one that could come close to him, maybe's Edge. Maybe. Just maybe. I don't know.
I think another one could come close. I think Samoa Joe could come close.
Well, Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe, he attacks anyone. Like, we could take back before the Royal Rumble. He claimed he was joining the Royal Rumble, but he didn't do it by words. He did it by attacking and attacking and attacking until people just said, "Oh no, I don't want to be around this guy anymore," because that's how petrifying he was.
Yeah, no, it was crazy, you know. But Jaden, we're gonna end this show now. It was an excellent topic, in my opinion. You know, it was a great pleasure having the brothers in arms in our show today. You know, I know we had a few viewers watching them in the interview, and I'm sorry, fans, for the delay. And we definitely thank you. And our next week's topic is going to be the greatest champions of all time. We're going to be talking about championships of all types. U.S. champions, intercontinental champions, world heavyweight champions of WCW, ECW, and Rich, my man, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. You watching us on our show. And as I said, fans, again, we're going to be talking about every single championship and in every single organization. Which probably Jason Dugan, you might want to tune in as well, because we're going to be mentioning you in that show. And fans, don't forget to tune in on Sunday, 5 p.m. We're going to have an exclusive interview with Omen Rockshaw from the USA Pro Wrestling. And as well as Monday at 6 p.m., we're going to be interviewing the unbreakable, unstoppable, ruthless, Deadly Saiyan Squad. From all of us fans, have a good night.
Thank you for watching.